Welcome to Overload. And here I want to talk a little bit about the handheld gaming and gaming in general from Xbox that Phil Spencer hints is on the radar. While, it's fine to have another handheld device out there, what Microsoft needs to do is not only just get a handheld device out if that's what they want, but I think more importantly is maybe just make a good platform for the games to be played on, right? Um, Unless we're on the desktop laptop scenario, even tablets isn't as smooth. It's made strides since Windows 8, but it isn't as smooth as what it probably needs to be or could be. And we don't want Microsoft, especially if you're going to buy one of these handheld devices, to keep neglecting them if this is something they want to get into. Now, I hope that Microsoft, if they are going to come up with a handheld device, comes with an idea of how to implement and make a UI and make it immersive and make it easy to use so the gamers can get into the games and play the games that they want to play, right? As Phil has said in the interview that he had with Bloomberg, that even more games are going to be coming to PlayStation and Nintendo and other platforms, which I've kind of said that's fine in prior videos, but you also have to have an incentivization for people that, you know, want to be on Game Pass, for people that want to be in the Xbox ecosystem, and, for Microsoft to want to grow those two items, right? You'd be like, Microsoft maybe shouldn't be in the hardware business. Fine, but they have to do something so that people gravitate towards that. Because if everything just goes to every other spot, and you don't need Xbox Game Pass, which they want to grow, there's a problem here, right? You buy all these studios, spend $70 billion, and all of a sudden you're losing it to all these other platforms, and you don't have anybody on the Xbox Game Pass service, which is something I don't think even Satya Nadella wants to see, right, from the CEO standpoint. But if they can be able to go through and make a handheld device that is something that is immersive, I actually think that it should be more of a gaming mode. If I was looking at this, I'd like to see a gaming option, a gaming mode option, right, for not only these handhelds, but also for desktops, also for mini PCs, whatever you want to call them, even laptops, right? If you have a gaming only mode, maybe it is you're not going to be running all the Windows background tasks at that point, right? It's basically just, hey, we are putting all the performance into gaming at this moment. And you kind of were thinking that the game bar would have been something like that. And here Microsoft is years later from creating that, and we're nowhere near closer, or at least that's the way I feel, on getting a gaming mode in this. Think of the opportunities that you have. You could, um, Microsoft could make a Xbox if they wanted to. They have in the past. They could make a handheld if they wanted to. But why not take advantage of some of these handhelds and some of these, PC builders that do an amazing job at building PCs, and be able to then have a mode in each of those scenarios. One, I enjoy like building a PC, and if that would just work and be able to turn it on, you have DirectX, so you know that certain requirements are there, right? Or, on what things need to be. These are things that you could implement if you need stricter compatibility for your games that go into this game mode to start out with, or there's going to be a reduced mode. There's things like that that you might have to do, but you have this scenario and you have this option to be able to have like a Dell, HP, maybe even SIs create these products that could be Xbox computers. Even let's say Microsoft even says, here's a custom silicon design from AMD that we work with, and this is going to be the requirement for building that you have to build around. Fine, let's go down that road. I like to have it where you can build your own PC, have minimum requirements to be able to get into Xbox, this game mode. Maybe it's, at least if we're going off of the Xbox, right? A you do it to like a 5700 RX 5700 and a Zen 2 processor, right? That's where it is. And at least if you have that, you can get into this game mode and have that extra performance. If extra layer, whatever they want to call it, their uh, put it like an Xbox mode or gaming mode, something like that. And then you could also have, hey, we're doing a handheld here, and we support, these AMD handhelds, Intel handhelds, and we have this ARM, SoC as well that you can use for your gaming handhelds. We're going to make our own, but you can also buy any of these other companies and get the same performance. I think that instead of just focusing on the one item here, Microsoft, of we're bringing all our games into, and we're thinking about different ways to address the gaming gaming sector and the game users. I'm kind of excited about everything else. I think what's one great thing about the Steam Deck is that the Steam Deck is another way to play games on the library it has, and it's then also, from what I've seen, is really nice and easy to use and easy to get into your games. And I think that is one huge option. Nintendo is always, having they have a closed garden, right? And they make everyone come to them for their games, and they're very good at it. Microsoft, has not been able to have that pull because they don't have that um, reliability of making sure that their games are going to be just amazing, rock solid, and going to work right out of the box, right? You can go to Bethesda games, and well, there's some other ones there that we know about that took a little while to iron out some of the kinks in there. So, there's many different options, and I think some of these other options where some of these options here that Microsoft could take approach in different ways has a great option bringing more people into that Xbox Game Pass. Now, I'm not on Xbox Game Pass, and I'm still, buy the games if you want the games, and if Xbox Game Pass is something that works for you, go ahead and do it, right? I have a huge backlog of games, and I don't need to have a subscription to something that I've tried to carve out my time for, and sometimes I don't have enough time, and it wouldn't be worth it. But if it's worth it for you, definitely, take a look and do that. But we'll see as this goes forward, because they even talked about the mobile game store and how to differentiate. They said it's on pause because they want it to stand out against Google Play and Apple Store, and it's I saw Microsoft closing down the arcade game store in the Windows store, right? And I'm just like, you keep trying to change things and and move things all the time here, Microsoft, or kill things off, and you wonder why people aren't diving into kind of your services and your stores and everything else. Kind of stick with something, make it and build it around. Let's say these stores, this Xbox store on mobile is going to be just about games, and just put something out there and stick it and get some feedback. You're going to need some feedback at some point here. And I think Microsoft is so concerned about getting it right the first time instead of molding it into what it needs to be. They're on this handheld. They're wondering what to do and how to compete against Sony, right? They're like, well, we're unsure of what games we're going to bring, but now we're going to eventually bring all games over to Sony or over to these other platforms, and they're so unsure of what they're going to do. Maybe they're slowly going it out, but I think for your fans' sake, that if you say, well, yeah, we're bringing everything over, it's going to be a delay. Things are going to Xbox first. We want to hear your feedback on this. We're going to put games everywhere, but what do you want for your incentives? Because you're supporters of this. We're going everywhere, but what addition do you want? Do you want something where you could maybe see that and take some feedback here, Microsoft? Because I think that you have an opportunity where Sony's, just outselling everybody in the console space. You have Nintendo that has their niche, and can outsell anybody in the console space when they have a new product, right? And you're kind of this in between of, we want to be game studios and developing games. We want to have a console. We want to have, a game store where you can get games from. We want to have a mobile gaming experience, and you're not really, diving in and saying, we're going to deliver an amazing, mobile gaming experience for you with all the games that we have through this game store. We're also going to have some amazing games come out, and I really hope that we're going to I really hope Microsoft goes through and just keeps up with good games. But go through, we have these amazing games that are coming out, and we will make sure that they're on Xbox first, you know, through the game store. They'll be on PC, and there's going to be different, you know, delays on how long it may take for them to reach another platform. That could vary depending upon the work, but they're going to be here on Xbox first. And then we're going to go through and make sure that, you know, we're going to have hardware for you to go out and play on that's going to be best suited for the gamers out there. So if they had something like that, I think it'd be great to be able to move and work in a direction to really connect with the gamers that have been through and been going to support you for all these years. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and let me know if you have any questions or thoughts on this whole Xbox mess that they're kind of creating, right? Hopefully they can go through and make it so that it's going to benefit gamers, because in the end, that's who really needs to benefit, is that gamers need to benefit from this, because if they're not going to benefit, people are going to move further away from your services, and then everything you bought is going to be a write-off. With that, thank you so much for watching Great Overload. Leave it in the comments below if you have anything. Thank you for supporting and subscribing, sharing, watching another one of my videos. That all really does help out the channel. Until next time, God bless.